This is where I said you're going to need a pen and paper. I want you to write down the following questions. Now, I am the author of the book Play to Win, and I'm going to give each one of you this book in ebook. I'm going to give all of you ebook. Now, in the third chapter of this book, we talk about how to identify your talent. How do you identify your talent? And there are 4 questions there that I want you to write down. I want you to write down number 1, what do I do with my free time? What do I do with my free time? We are trying to identify your skill, your talent, your ability, your dexterity, what you do well. We are trying to identify that, and the first question you want to answer is, what do I do with my free time? What do I do with my free time? Number 2, what do I enjoy doing? Now, the exact one in the book is what do I do for free, but that's not applicable to you guys because you're no longer working. So just write down, what do I enjoy doing? What is it that you enjoy doing? When you're doing this thing, you forget time. When you're doing this thing, you look up and you discover, oh my God, it's 2 o'clock already because I just started to do this. You know, what do I forget? Examples are I'm playing soccer and I really enjoy myself. I'm watching a movie, I really enjoy myself. I'm cooking, I really enjoy myself. I'm running. Things that you enjoy doing, you forget time when you're doing those things. So number 2 is, what do I enjoy doing? Number 3, what have people complimented me for doing? What have people complimented me for doing? Another way to ask that is, what do people ask me to do for them? For example, people ask me to speak. People will usually call me to come and speak at events because that is something I do well. It's very important that you know what it is that you do well. Our culture has a way of teaching us to be falsely humble. There's a false humility that comes with our culture, and especially with Christianity, where we no longer accept the things that are you need to know what you're good at. God has endowed each one of us with skills, and you want to know what you do well. So the third question is, what have people complimented me for doing? What do people ask me to do for them? Number 4 will be easy for you guys. What did you get in trouble for as a child? What did you get in trouble for as a child? What is it that when you were a child, you got in trouble for? God does not make duplicates. There is no one on planet Earth who is like you. Forget in the room. There is no one who is like you, okay? So, in this session, we are not looking for what makes you the same, and we'll go into details of that, don't worry. We are looking for what makes you stand out, okay? You are not looking for your sameness, you're looking for your differentness. Am I making sense? If my name was Joseph and I introduced myself as Jose, is that the same person? We are talking branding here, all right? We are talking branding. If my name is Christine Mweteeli, my name is Christine Mweteeli on Skype. On Facebook, my name is Christine Mweteeli. On Instagram, my name is who? What is my name on WhatsApp? What is my name to the neighbors? I have 4 children. Each one of them have a name. I have never allowed myself to be called Mama so-and-so. I'm like, I'm the mother of that child. But my name is Christine Mweteeli. You understand? We are talking about becoming a package, becoming a brand. Okay? Have you ever found the word Safaricom written against blue? Have you ever seen Safaricom written on red? Which color is Safaricom written on? We're talking branding, all right? So, Maurice, Gabriel, Oliver, Mora, Ariana, Shalom, Faith, Dakin, Brandon, Ashley. What do those people have in common? The people I have named, what do they have in common? Just read the names. I was only reading the names. I haven't met them before. I was just reading the names. What do they have in common? Can I say them again? Maurice, Gabriel, Oliver, Mora, Ariana, Shalom, Faith, Dakin, Brandon, Ashley. What do they have in common? They have written their names in capital letters. If I ever write my name, I write it in bold and I underline it. It's my name. Okay? Now, guys, the world does not reward shyness. If I don't communicate anything else here today, the world does not reward people who speak from under the table. Have you ever seen anybody make it in life who behaves like that? You have just come out of high school. How many people are in the school you just left? In your graduating class, how many people are in that class? 47. Your school at one stream. One stream. How many people are in your graduating class?
47.
Are you in the same school?
No.
57. 30. You guys went to very small schools.
About 60.
Nobody went to a school with 120 people? 150? How many? 350. Those are the numbers I'm used to. Okay. How many people are not known by name by the principal of the school you just left? The principal of the school doesn't know you. The principal doesn't know you. Okay. We have to correct such things. Are we together? Please be known for something. Be the best or the worst. You cannot leave a high school and the principal doesn't know you. There's a problem. Do you agree with me? There is a problem. Guys, we are talking about going out and conquering the world. Okay? We are talking about going out and conquering the world. Your name is your brand. Are we together? Your name is your brand. Duncan, I would write my name bigger than that. Faith, that's the size of font you write your name. It's your name. Don't allow people to forget you. You understand? Do not allow people to forget you. In life, there are never wide opportunities. Opportunities are always thin. You have to give us a reason to squeeze you through. All right? You have to give the world, the marketplace, a reason to let you through. Okay? Now, in my day, and that will betray my age, when we started Standard 1, we were 100,000. When we went into the university, at that point, there were 5 public universities. You either were invited or you were not. We didn't have all these opportunities. Today, I can decide to go back and start a first degree. Those times, there were no such opportunities. In fact, in my year, the names were put in the newspaper. You were either invited to the university or you were not. From Standard 1, we were 100,000. When we went to the university, we were 8,000. Are you hearing the difference? So that out of every 100, 8 made it through. Because we went up to Standard 7, in my day we went to Standard 7, and a huge chunk was left behind. We went to Form 4, and a huge chunk was left behind. We went to Form 6, and a huge chunk was left behind. I'm not saying academics are everything. Don't worry, I'm going to talk about academics. They are not everything. But I'm just trying to to get you to understand that out of 100,000, we narrowed down to 8,000. Do you think you are going to make it spelling your name in a small font? Do you think you are going to make it not known by your headmistress, by your headmaster? You have to get known by people. If I come to church here for 3 years, surely the senior pastor should know my name. I better do something that will make the senior pastor know my name. You understand? So be either very good or very bad. Be something. You want to be able to stand out. Okay? You want to be the one to introduce yourself to the world. Because if you don't introduce yourself to the world, you leave it up to us to describe you. And we may not do you justice. You agree? We may not do you justice. So you want to be the one who introduces yourself to the world. I like the story of a race car driver who was named Alex. Alex was a race car driver. His fascination was cars. All he ate, slept, and did everything was cars. He was very passionate about cars. And Alex was a race driver. He would spend all his time. He had about 4 race cars and 1 flatbed. You know the trucks that carry cars? So he had 5 vehicles, but basically that was all his wealth. That he wasn't fascinated with making money and building a big business or stuff like that. All he enjoyed was racing cars. And unfortunately, when his wife was having their first baby, she passed away. And they named the baby Alexia. Alexia was now, of course, named after the father. She was raised by her dad. They were very close. So she spent all her time with her dad. Whenever she came from school, she would spend her time fixing engines and things like that. So all she loved, all she was fascinated with was cars and engines. She did not do very well in school because A, she did not dress like or look like or want to be with the girls. She kept short hair, she wore jeans, she behaved like a boy, she was very tomboyish, and all she wanted to talk about was engines and cars. So she didn't fit very well with the girls. Now, she didn't also fit very well with the boys because, she wasn't a boy. So she was an awkward child. I'm sure you saw children like that in school. You probably were with people like that. Probably you were that person, the one who didn't fit very well with everybody else. Now, Alexia would actually introduce herself as Alex. Her father would call her Alex, and she lived with her father. They were very happy. They would go on the weekends to where he was racing. He won a lot of a lot of awards with his races, and so they lived off that money, but he would end up spending all of that money on making the engine better and doing the next race better. So they were not really very wealthy, but they were comfortable. Unfortunately, when Alexia was about 13, her father died. Her father died in a road crash, and so she was left in the care of her auntie. Her dad had been very close with his sister, so her auntie took her in. Alexia became a very closed-in teenager. She was obedient. She was happy in her auntie's house, but she spent her entire life in her bedroom. All she did was watch videos of races, but she never touched an engine again. An engine reminded her of her father, so she would cry a lot. She did not want to do cars and stuff that she had done with her father because she was very traumatized by the loss of her dad. But her fascination, her ability, her passion was engines. So she spent her whole free time, whenever she wasn't in school, she was in her bedroom watching videos and stuff like that about cars. And so finally, she finishes school and she did well. But she refused to go to campus. She wasn't interested in academics. She would just do enough to get by. I don't know whether you're familiar with that. You just do enough. You don't excel, you're not disobedient, you're not foolish, but you don't excel in school because your mind is not there. Her mind was more into engines and everything. Now, fortunately for Alexia, her auntie was a business person, and she identified the gift in Alexia and she allowed her to start a business. She ended up opening a humongous garage. She ended up doing very well in the area of cars, of servicing of cars, and so that became what she did with her life. She created a huge fortune. She may not have gone to campus or anything, but she ended up employing engineers. She ended up employing people who are really much brighter and more qualified than her to run her business for her. She had managers with masters and MBAs and all of that to run her company. She ended up with at least 200 employees in her business. That was the story of Alexia. And Alexia's story points out to us that whatever it is that we are put here to do, our circumstances will lead us to do those things. Our circumstances will usually lead us to do those things. So Alexia wound up building a huge business while not following the traditional path. The reason we are giving this story is to point out to you that you may not be gifted in those things which our society likes to grow. In my mind, and your parents may not disagree with me, this is just my opinion, you can take it or not, but there are two things in my mind which are overrated in this society. One is getting good grades. Did I mention I went to the university? At a time when it was very competitive to go to the university. I'm not saying I didn't pass my exams. Are we together? I'm not saying don't pass your exams. A university degree is good to have. There's a difference between things which are good to have and things which are essential. Please hear me, I'm speaking to you here like a mother. There is things which are good to have, and then there is things which are essential. Essential is air, is water, is shelter over your head, is clothes to wear. Those are essential. Makeup, perfume is good to have. Are we together? It will make your life better. I like them, I have them. But they are not essential. A university degree is good to have. It's good to have. I've spent a fortune putting my children through school. But it's not essential. Another thing which is good to have, but which is not essential, is a salaried job. A job that pays you a salary at the end of the month. I realize that most of your parents have a job. The majority of our society, our entire education system prepares you to get a job. A job is good to have, but it is not essential. Are we together? It is not essential. The more essential thing is for you to find your gift. There is a reason why God put your gift in you. And your gift was put in you to serve the world. Your gift was put in you to serve the world, okay? God put a gift of engines and engineering and all that in Alexia so she could serve the world. All the people who are served by her opening that business, all the cars that she serviced, all the people that she employed, all the things that she did, the people from whom she leased the buildings where she had a bit. There's a lot of people who are going to be touched by your gift. So what if your gift doesn't happen to be in the traditional areas where we are used to seeing? Don't let that put you down, okay? So the two things which in my mind are overrated are salaried employment and academics. I've had both, and I can tell you that they are overrated. All that a good job does for you is to create a foundation so that then you have, because listen, if your bills are not paid, you're not able to be gifted. You're not able to have that gift we are talking about, okay? It's difficult for Alexia to fix engines when the lights have been put off. So you do need to make money. So you will require a good job. You will require to pass your exams. That is good to have. We have cleared that. Have you understood what I mean? Good to have as opposed to essential. Now, let me tell you my own story of how I wrote this book that I was talking about. I have been in business for most of my life. I have opened and closed a lot of businesses. I have been up and I have been down. And at one point, we opened a property magazine. My husband at the time was in the property business, and we started a property magazine. We were doing a monthly property magazine so that we had deadlines of when the magazine went to press, when the materials came in. So I was working as the managing editor. By then I was already published author. So the whole business of writing and publishing was already familiar to me. So when we started that business, during the first, I think up to 10th of the month, we were collecting articles. I was getting writers. I was writing some of them myself. I had people who were writing different articles to go into the magazine. Then so the deadline for the articles was 10th. The deadline for the adverts was 20th. By 20th, we had to have all the adverts in for the magazine. Then we had the graphics going on and all of that, and you guys could be familiar with that or not. But by the 25th, the magazine had to be with the printer. We had to get everything ready and get the magazine with a printer by the 25th, so that on the 28th, the magazine would be shipped from the printer to the distributor. You understand the strict deadlines? Right now, when I describe them, they might sound very simple, but they took a lot of running around. I remember one night when we were trying, it's 28th fell on a Sunday, we were supposed to have finished. It didn't work, the lights went off. I picked it was a desktop computer. I picked the desktop computer, the designer, I put him in my car, I drove to my house. We continued to do the graphics and everything in my house. We finished at 2 a.m. The deadlines had to be kept because the following morning that had to be burnt in a CD and taken to the printer, so that the distributor had to get the magazine on the 28th because it was going to be taken all around East Africa, so that on the 1st of the month, if you walk into a supermarket, you will pick up a magazine that says June, January, whichever month that was. You understand? So everything had to go on time. Now, I had started this business without enough capital. I did not have enough capital. So I'm rushing to get adverts to come in and get paid for so I can get the printer. I'm waiting for the distributor to pay me from last month so that I can pay this. It was a very tight schedule. And at one point, we got to the place we had made a lot of losses. The business was doing badly. I had sold my car. I was unable to pay school fees for my children. I had gone so deep in debt and things had become so bad that I woke up one morning and I said, remember now we have one car. We are going with one car. We have the children. We're taking them to school. I have 4 daughters. And we were taking them to school and I told them, guys, today I'm not coming. And they left me at home and they went. When they left, I went back upstairs. And I changed back into my nightdress. And I had been dressed, I'm leaving. Then I asked myself, where am I going? It was so difficult. Everyone calling was, where is the payment for this? Where is this? Where is this? Threats everywhere. No, we can't print this month. You have to pay. I was so deep in debt. Things were so bad. So I told them, no, I'm not coming. And so they left me at home and they went to work. And when I slept, when I opened my eyes, it was 4 p.m. You know the way you think you're taking a nap? I opened my eyes, it's 4 p.m. and I'm like, wow, the day is over. I wake up quickly, I splash my face, I cook dinner, they came home. The following morning, I told them, no, I'm not coming. And again, my husband dropped the children and I was left at home. And again, I slept all day. I soon discovered that I did not need my house help any longer because I'm at home anyway. So I fired my house girl and I took over her job. And so I would wash the clothes, I would scrub the floors, I would cook the food, I would do everything. I had my hands blistered, I react to detergent. I had my hands really badly blistered by the soap of washing clothes every day and scrubbing floors every day. I put on a lot of weight. I stopped going to the salon. I stopped doing my hair. I would wear long, flowing dresses. So you wouldn't notice how much weight I have put on. I was in the house doing nothing, feeling depressed for 1 year. For exactly 12 months, I only ever left home on a Sunday morning to come to church, to this church. That was before we built this sanctuary. We were going to church at High Ridge. I don't know whether you guys are familiar with that season. And for a whole year, I only ever left home on a Sunday morning. And one day, I remember my friends coming to see me. By then, I've stopped answering my phone. And when you're not calling people, they soon stop calling you. You know that? If you're not answering calls, you're not calling anybody, you soon discover your phone is not ringing. Okay? So my phone was not ringing. So some friends of mine one day asked, where is Christine? I haven't seen her in a very long time. And they got together and they came to my house. You know the way they call you? We are on our way to your house. So they arrived. They took one look at me. They looked at each other. They looked at me. They told me, do you realize you're depressed? And I asked them, what is depression? It wasn't something that I was familiar with. So we had a laugh and we had a cup of tea or lunch or whatever happened, and they left. But what they had said to me struck a nerve. And that evening I remember telling God, Father, I don't know what to do and I don't know how to do it. I want you to have something happen to me. And I forgot that prayer and I went back to my washing and scrubbing and doing the things that I do every day. 3 days later, I'm in the backyard, I'm folding laundry, and my phone rang. It was a client that I had been working with before I started the magazine. I had stopped all my speaking, I had stopped all my training, I had told my clients I'm no longer doing this work, I'm going to run the magazine. So a client was calling me and asked me, Christine, I have a training in Mombasa, are you free next week? And before I could tell her, I no longer do training. I had a word in my spirit that said, you told me to do something. This is me doing something. And I told her, yes, I'll go to Mombasa. And the following week, I went to Mombasa. I don't remember the training. I don't remember who was the client. I don't remember what the training was about. But I remember the feeling of standing in the middle of, in front of a group and holding a microphone in my hand. That was familiar to me. Remember the 4 questions we asked ourselves? What do you find easy to do? It felt like a fish falling back in the water. I recognized I had been doing other people's things. There's nothing wrong with the magazine business. I'm just the wrong person to be doing it. I am cut out to speak. It's what God has given me. You have a responsibility to do what God has put in your spirit, to exercise the gift, the talent, the ability that God has put in you. You need to recognize it. You need to work it. Now, there are a few things I want to point out about your gift, and I am done here. 1, you are the voice of your gift. You're the one who speaks for your gift. You are the one who speaks for your gift. I already said that God does not make duplicates, and therefore there is nobody with your exact combination of gifts and talents. There is nobody on planet Earth, not even your identical twin, has your exact combination of gifts and talents. So you have to be the one who speaks for your gift. Remember, I said it is not fashionable to be shy. Whatever, if somebody ever says, can I have a volunteer to give a vote of thanks? Can I have a volunteer to make a closing prayer? Be the one to volunteer. Are we together? Do not ever from today henceforth, I've told you never allow anyone to call you young. Also never allow anyone to think of you as shy. That's not a compliment. It is not complimentary to be shy. So you're the voice of your gift. The reason I'm saying that is it is you who will tell us what you're gifted in. If I don't stand up and speak, nobody will ever know that I was gifted in speaking. If I don't write anything, nobody will ever know that I had the gift of writing. So you're the voice of your speech. Number 2, your gift is what makes you stand out rather than what makes you fit in. Remember I said the title of my message here for you guys today was the buffalo or the lion, and we're going to get to the buffalo or the lion. Are you likely to see one buffalo?
No.
When you see one buffalo, you see 500. True or false? Good. What about a lion?
Walks in a park, hands on its own,
Excellent. Hands on its own. So, in your gifting and in your talent, are you a buffalo or you're a lion? Would you rather be a buffalo or a lion? There's a cliche that says every day in the jungle, a lion, that one uses the antelope. Every day in the jungle, the lion wakes up knowing that it must run faster than the slowest antelope, otherwise it will starve. Every day in that same jungle, the antelope wakes up knowing that it must run faster than the fastest lion, otherwise it's eaten. If you don't run, the wild will eat you. Are we together? So you don't want to be the buffalo, because sooner or later, you will be eaten. Are we together? You will be eaten if you're the buffalo. So, in the area of your gift, I have said that you're the voice of your gift. You're the one who speaks for your gift. You're the one who gives your gift life. Okay? And I have also said that your gift makes you a lion. It does not make you a buffalo. Academics and salaried employment have very little to do with your gift. Those things are good to have, but they are not essential. They are not essential for the flying of your gift. They are not essential for the flying of your gift. I told you that I went back to Mombasa and I picked up the microphone. I have never put it down since. I have never introduced myself as anything other than a speaker ever since. I have never attempted to do anything other than speak ever since. Because I have no business flying aircraft. I'm not a pilot. I have no business raising bulls. I'm not a farmer. I am a speaker. God has put something in each one of us. We have the responsibility to take our gift and to let it fly. Because in the world of gifts and in the world of talents, you would much rather be a lion than be a bull. Sawa sawa? Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This has been my great pleasure.